Hello dear students, welcome to social science class. Today we are beginning a new chapter in civics, working of institutions. The first question which comes in our mind is what is meant by institutions? Institutions are what? Several arrangements are made in all democracies to govern a country. Such arrangements are known as institutions. Now let's understand this definition with the help of an example. Say for example, a major policy decision has to be taken. You all know that who takes that decision? The major decisions are taken by the government. Who are in the government? Prime Minister, Council of Ministers. So these people take the major decisions. Can they take whatever decision they like? No. Whatever decision they like, that must be approved by the parliament. Because in a democracy, the rulers cannot do whatever they like. They have to work under the limits set by the constitutions. And because of that, several institutions, several arrangements are made for the smooth functioning of a democratic government. And these arrangements are known as the institutions. There are mainly three major institutions through which a democratic government works. First, legislature, second, executive, and third, judiciary. Now, what is legislature? The work of the legislature is to make the laws. In our country, parliament is the legislature, which we also call Sansad. Then, executive. Executives are the functionaries. Whatever laws which are framed by the legislature, they have to be implemented. And the function of implementation, the function of execution is done by the executives. There are mainly two types of executives. They are the political and permanent. And suppose if there any dispute arises between these or between and decision taken by the government and the people, who is there to solve that dispute? And then there is the role of judiciary. So there are mainly three institutions: legislature, executive, and judiciary. The first important institution in any democracy is the legislature. In India, we call it parliament or Sansad. Now, what is a parliament? How can we define it? A parliament is an assembly of elected representatives. Who elect them? People. Elected representatives who exercises supreme political authority. Why supreme political authority? Because democracy is a rule of people on behalf of the people. So in a democracy, especially in a parliamentary democracy, the parliament exercises supreme political authority. Parliament is known by different names in different countries. Do you know by how it is known by different names? Say for example, in the USA it is known as Congress. In Japan it is known as Diet. In Iraq it is known as Majlis, or in Afghanistan it is known as Surah. Isn't it interesting? Yes. Then at the state level, the legislative, it is known as Legislative Assembly or Vidhan Sabha. Now, let's see what are the powers and functions of Parliament. First and the foremost power of the Parliament is it is the final authority for making laws. The Parliament has the power to make new laws, can make changes in the laws, or even it can abolish the laws. Second, Parliament exercise control over those who run the government. And in India, Parliament direct have control over the government. The Prime Minister and the Council of Ministers can remain in power only till the time they enjoy majority in the Lok Sabha. So the Prime Minister and the Council of Ministers cannot do whatever they like. They must have majority in the Lok Sabha. So we can say that the Parliament exercise control over those who run the government. Next, Parliament control all the money that government have. The government can spend the money only when Parliament sanctions or approves it. And finally, Parliament is the highest forum of discussion and debates on public issues and national policy. As you all know that the member of Parliament, whom we commonly call MPs, these MPs are elected from all over the country. Each part of the country have their own issue or problems. So the Parliament give a platform to all the members, all the MPs to have discussion and debates. They can ask the questions to the government and they can also force the government to make some welfare schemes for their particular area. And that's why we can say in this way we can say that the Parliament is the most important institution in a democracy. The Parliament of India has two houses or chambers which are known as Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Let's begin with first Lok Sabha, which is also known as the House of the People. Lok Sabha is directly elected. Directly elected means all the members of the Lok Sabha are elected through elections. Second, it exercises real power on behalf of people. Real power means what? The government can remain in power till the time it has majority in Lok Sabha. Even if a government not having majority in the Rajya Sabha, then also it can remain in power. But if a government or the political party which is the ruling party, if that party does not have majority in the Lok Sabha, in that case that party cannot rule over the country. So we can say that Lok Sabha exercises real power on behalf of the people. Next, at present there are 543 members in the Lok Sabha. The maximum capacity of the Lok Sabha is 552, but at present there are only 543 members. Next, it is known as the lower house of the Parliament. And last, it gets dissolved. It is not a permanent body. After every 5 years, it gets dissolved and the general elections are conducted. It even can be dissolved before 5 years. Suppose the party which is ruling that loses its majority in the Lok Sabha and no other party is in the condition to form a government. In that case, the Lok Sabha even can get dissolved before 5 years as well. The other house of the Parliament is the Rajya Sabha, which is also known as the Council of States. This Rajya Sabha is elected indirectly. Indirectly means the members of the Vidhan Sabha from a particular state, they elect the members of Rajya Sabha. The members of Rajya Sabha are not elected by the people by using their voting rights. Next, Rajya Sabha look after the interest of various states. Rajya Sabha is specially framed to look after or to raise the issue of the particular states. There are 245 members in the Rajya Sabha at present. The maximum capacity of the Rajya Sabha is 250, but at present there are 245 members. Out of these 245 members, 12 members are nominated by the President, and remaining 233 members are elected from different states and union territories. Rajya Sabha is the upper house of the parliament, and Rajya Sabha is permanent. It never gets dissolved. The tenure of the Rajya Sabha member is 6 years. Means after 6 years they retire. 1/3 member of the Rajya Sabha retire after every second year. These all are the features of the Rajya Sabha. Now the question arises, which of the house of the parliament is more powerful? If we look at the features of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, we find that Lok Sabha gets dissolved, Rajya Sabha is permanent, Lok Sabha is the lower house, Rajya Sabha is the upper house. When we read these words, we feel that Rajya Sabha is more powerful, but it is not so. Lok Sabha is more powerful than Rajya Sabha. Let's see how. First, passing of an ordinary law in a joint session. Say for example, any bill is passed in the Lok Sabha and it goes to Rajya Sabha, and Rajya Sabha rejects that bill, and there is a confusion over that bill in the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. In such a case, the President calls a joint session of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha together, and then that bill is presented in the joint session of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. And as you all know that the members of the Lok Sabha are more compared to Rajya Sabha. So in that case, the will of the Lok Sabha prevails. Second, Lok Sabha exercises more powers in money matters. As you all know that the budget is sanctioned in the Lok Sabha, or any other money bill which is sanctioned in the Lok Sabha, and if it is sent to Rajya Sabha can give suggestion, but Lok Sabha is not bound to accept that suggestion. Rajya Sabha, even if it reject the bill, money bill, then also that will prevail. So in the matter of money, Lok Sabha is more powerful compared to Rajya Sabha. And last of all, Lok Sabha controls the Council of Ministers. As I mentioned earlier also, that the Prime Minister and Council of Ministers remain in power till the time they have majority in the Lok Sabha, not in the Rajya Sabha. So thus we can say that Lok Sabha exercises supreme power, or Lok Sabha is more powerful than Rajya Sabha. That's all in today's session. Thank you and have a nice day.